Because for the same reason that in Risk, if you take Australia and nothing else, you're not going to win. Now, you may never lose Australia because Australia is a tough win. It's got 3 little places, and if you've got all 3 of them and you're built up on there, ain't nothing you're going to do. But you may not have enough troops to get off of Australia.
So strategic, but not strategic enough to get them to where they would have needed to be to take stuff over.
Right. Also, some years back, a guy using the name of Dizan Hassankopf, who was actually born Armand Cortez, killed his wife, Girly Chu. She was Malaysian, so that's why she had that name. Most likely with the help of Linda Herring, his girlfriend at the time. Her body has never been found, but Dizan and Linda both believed in reptilians, and both believed, or in Dizan's case, at least pretended to believe, that Girly Chu was a reptilian queen in human. So there's the true crime for the episode.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You know, I was all about Robert Englund being a lizard man in V, the Final Battle. I got you. And I can see it. My issue is we take it from being something that I can see, and then, like, people go that way with it. Like, way out there. And we're having lizard feeding party raves and using it to explain murdering people with weird names randomly for no damn reason. I mean, it just...
Well, not for no... She was married to him. Girly Chu Hassankopf was her name. But Dizan Hassankopf, a.k.a. Armand Cortez, wasn't like a normal guy. First of all, he referred to himself as a doctor, and he wasn't. He was a con artist who would charge people who had cancer hundreds of thousands of dollars for his visionary treatments that did nothing. He preyed on the weak and the sick, and that he just wasn't a good person. And so you getting together with his girlfriend to kill his wife, yeah, he mentioned reptilians, so I brought it up in the story. But
gotcha. Did he know Krysta's friend?
Sharon Kinney, probably not.
Well, you know, the girl plotted with the girlfriend to kill the wife. It was a...
Krysta's getting ready to hurl a lightning bolt at both of us. She's not happy.
That's right, it was a tie-in. It
was a tie-in. So, hey, we could probably interview Dizan Hassankopf. I think he's still alive. You want to, Krysta?
No, not...
He can suck my foot.
That's a bit...
I've smelled for feet. That's not a good thing.
And then we also have to talk a little bit about Dulce Base. Now, we are going to do an episode on Dulce Base, so I don't want to dig into it.
No?
Sweet milk?
You would think, but no. In New Mexico, near the 37th parallel, is believed to be an underground base called Dulce Base. D-L-U-C-E, so Dulce. Yeah. It is believed to house humans and aliens living and working together, and when it was discovered by a group of human soldiers, many believe a fight broke out that resulted in the deaths of most of the humans involved. And we only know this due to a man whose name I believe is Phil Schneider, who used to speak at alien conventions, and he had some horrific injuries that he said were caused by alien weapons.
Cool.
So, but he claimed he saw reptilians among the aliens they fought. And reptilians have made their way into popular culture. Obviously, you got to talk about V.
Yeah.
Because V is the reptilians writ large, right? Except they while they do pretend to be human throughout most of the show, they take over world leaders. They hypnotize people. They don't control them secretly. But V definitely had reptilian influences, as did the movie Independence Day.
Yeah.
And there is also a whole series of Iron Sky movies that supposedly depict a more accurate portrayal of the reptilians and are described by a fellow podcaster as the, quote, best, worst movies in the world, unquote.
I see. Yes, I know who you're talking about. I was privy to that conversation. Yeah.
So, that's reptilians. Now, let's sort of wrap things up by summarizing this. Okay, for me, this idea is terrifying. It is terrifying to me that there is a race of reptilians wearing human skin, basically, and who are able to feast on us and pretty much take us at will. And enough people go missing in the world that if you wanted to obsess over this, you could really make a case for it. And that's why it gets to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. If it's true, then none of us are safe ever.
Yeah.
And it explains to me certain things like the modern Republican Party. Now, and when I say that, I'm talking about the Republican Party that's all about being divisive and like, when I was coming up and I was a kid, the difference between conservative and liberal was liberals didn't want the government messing in their bedroom, and conservatives didn't want the government messing in their wallet. Now they have departed from each other in such a way, and reptilians would explain that, because it keeps us fighting each other, and people fighting each other aren't going to notice the guy over in the corner taking off his human head to reveal, that he's a giant bearded dragon.
Yep. I actually agree. Yeah.
I think I would pay attention to that, but okay. Yeah, I guess fair enough.
So, if there is a worst case scenario, it is that there is such a thing as reptilians, is that they exist.
Right.
And I certainly believe that it is possible that there are reptilian aliens. It would explain the Mayans, the Aztecs.
Right.
But that's the last thing we have that is anything according near evidence, and we don't know how to interpret it. So, I am scared this is true, but I don't believe this is true. And that, I guess that would be where I'm at. And maybe part of me not believing it is just me not wanting to. Because I don't want to believe the world is so dark that there is something out there pretending to be human, eating us when we're not looking.
Can I go next?
Sure.
With this whole thing, my brain is saying, no, just no, I don't want to believe this. It can't happen. No. But we already know a lot of things. We've seen a lot of things as human beings. And that could explain a lot of things as well. Like you have said within your talking of multiple worlds being put together, it would not surprise me if these were actual things. I don't want to believe it with all my heart, I don't. But it's the thing of these worlds have been put together. It is not something we can take back as, hey, this is not real anymore. Because we already know paranormal is real. We've seen it before, and we had toast. We remember toast, don't we?
Oh, yeah. When I was much younger, I saw a UFO, but I don't. I have a hard time buying the reptilian angle. I do. Now, I think if I were smart, I would buy it and have a contingency plan, but
I believe it because with so many people in the world, would we really be able to tell where most of the population is aliens or reptilians? Would we really know? Would we know if this person was Einstein? I mean, they're not.
It would explain Elon Musk, wouldn't it?
I mean, we don't know if somebody either faked their death or they're still a ghost. Because we haven't caught that yet. However...
Okay, but
wait a minute.
Krysta,
Wait a minute. We will find out in the future. I believe we will find out in the future. Because of how much stuff they're working on now. And how many people often act like these creatures. You're tapping your foot. How about we go next, huh?
Are you done?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to interrupt you. Let's just say
I'm done.
Sure?
Yeah.
I love you. And I appreciate your openness to things that you cannot see. I appreciate it very much. This one's too much. I am perfectly happy to believe that we have no clue what is out there, and Star Wars and Star Trek took a page out of reality, and there are more kinds of beings and critters than we will ever know. I do find it a little hard to believe that they are here and running that much of our world and eating our people, and we're, our governments are just cool with it. That they are at the top of everything and that they haven't enslaved the human race yet. It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. It doesn't make sense to me. I think that's a little too far out there.
And I guess for me, that's where it breaks down, is that the people who will tell you that they're among us and that they run everything are the same people that will tell you that they're a warlike race and they can't help it. But a warlike race
would take over. They wouldn't hide in the shadows.
Exactly. That isn't a warlike race. That's a conspiratorial race.
Yeah. Big difference.
And
But that's not me saying that they're not real. That's me saying that this conspiracy is too much. You're trying to throw everything on the wall and see what sticks.
Right. And for me, just like I said, it scares me to death because it could be true. And if it is, the universe is a lot darker than I ever wanted it to be. And it's one of those thoughts that'll wake me up out of sound sleep at 4 a.m. because I'm like, how do I protect the kids?
Right.
But I just can't give it a lot of belief. And that's where I'm at. But what do the listeners think? And equally important, will Dan be fierce? Get Rick a lizard friend.
Well, we could get Rick a lizard friend.
Let her on him. He'll be good for another hour.
We could put Rick in with Roxas and let him hang out.
I'd rather not. I've seen Roxas take a poop before. And boy.
That is true, and they don't clean out his tank a lot, so... we can't always trust.
Also, since we're talking about the listeners, let's thank them for listening.
Also, listeners, a few of you, my father has been talking about you guys. And not in the bad way. However, my birthday is in 5 months. Stop.
5 months. You've got